Hi, this is Anthony Parent of Parent and Win, the IRSMedic, and in this video I'm going to be speaking about what to do if you got one of those scary letters from a Swiss bank saying that they're going to freeze your assets. Now, over the past few years, we've seen a lot of our clients come to us because they receive a letter from a Swiss bank saying you need to enter into the offshore voluntary disclosure program or you'll freeze your assets. Now, here's the strange thing. For a lot of people, they're completely surprised. They knew they had a Swiss account, but they had no idea they weren't in tax compliance. That is, they maybe inherited the account, or maybe they're a dual citizen. They didn't realize they had to pay taxes on it. And so they're coming to us with this letter explaining, oh my God, I have a huge problem. I didn't realize this. And for some of these people, they also went, their bank told them to close the account in 2011 or maybe 2009. And they didn't realize that the reason why the bank was telling them to close the account or transfer it was the bank knew something illegal was going on, and they assumed that their customer also wanted to continue doing something illegal. When in so many of the cases that we see with people with Swiss accounts, there really wasn't anything criminal going on. There was a legitimate reason to have the bank account overseas, and there was a legitimate reason why the account income wasn't reported on the tax return or wasn't reported on an FBAR form. Now, some of these reasons include that maybe taxpayer didn't know the U.S. taxes you on your worldwide income, and it is actually a unique thing. It's called universal tax jurisdiction, and the United States of America is the only country in the world to have it. Another reason is that, again, you might have inherited money from somebody overseas and somebody who lived overseas. And maybe you lived there for a little bit too, and maybe you're a dual citizen, so you never really thought of it as evading taxes. It was something of a separate world that really wasn't part of your U.S. picture. So why would you include that on your U.S. taxes? Again, all very legitimate reasons. So where we are right now is that many people are still getting these letters from the bank saying, we need proof that you're in the offshore voluntary disclosure program, or that you're going to enter into it. So if you have received one of these letters, okay, what you need to do is provide proof to the IRS or to your bank that you don't need to enter in it for some reason. And there are some exceptions where you don't need to enter into the full OVDP or even a streamlined. And if you are in the OVDP or have concluded it, send proof that you have done so. And that might include your Form 906 letter or some indication of a preclearance acceptance or a voluntary disclosure submission. Send that to the bank, and that will keep your accounts separated. Now, if you haven't done anything yet, and this is really who the video is for too, because we know that there is such a lack of intent on the behalf of so many of our clients to do anything fraudulent that you might be looking at this right now scared out of your wits. Well, this is really for you. Here's the thing. Act quickly. Really, August 4th is the deadline we want to look at for you to get in a submission. So what you want to do is enter into the offshore voluntary disclosure program, one of them most likely, and then send proof to your bank that you're in it. And then the bank, well, we've heard they get rewards and prizes for saying we suggested to the client that they enter into the program. They get those rewards and bonuses from the IRS, so we're told. So what you need to do, again, is act quick. Now, one of the things that's going on here, if you fail, August 4th is really a deadline that's coming up. Because August 4th is a deadline when things start to switch, because the IRS is going to have this information from the banks. So think about it like this. These letters have been going out, and the banks have saying, if you don't give us this information, we're going to share it with the IRS. So now these banks are going to have this information, or the IRS is going to have this information with the bank. And so now the IRS says, well, now we got you. Now when you come clean, are you really coming clean? Because you're basically just in our queue to give you significant penalties for. So August 4th is really the deadline that's coming up. Before then, your standard penalty will be 27.5%. But after that, it jumps up to 50%. Now, here's the thing. If that's freaking you out and you've acted with good reason, there's some other things to think about. you always can opt out, regardless of whether or not you submit by August 4th, 2014 or afterwards. You always can opt out. And if you have reasonable cause that you didn't file your FBAR, you should do okay. And then the other thing too that has just been announced is that there's 2 new streamlined programs available. One is the offshore streamlined program. That's for people who live overseas, and that has the best rules out there. And there, if you qualify, you can get a 0% penalty. You're just filing the last 3 years return and indicating you weren't willful. Okay, and willful is a whole other topic that you'd want to talk to a tax professional about. And then also for people who live in the U.S., there's a domestic offshore program, and that's 5% of account value. So they've really made the streamlined programs much more available to some people. For those offshore, they benefit a lot more. For those domestic, it's a 5%. And then there's the domestic 5% penalty. Again, what you qualify for, your best course of action is something you would want to speak to an OVDP law firm like Parent and Win about. So please subscribe to this channel. And if you have a pressing issue, again, we have deadlines. So please give our OVDP hotline a call at 888-477-4258. And actually that spells out 888 IRS Hall. Wow. It's kind of intentional, huh? So again, this is Anthony Parent of Parent and Win, the IRSMedic, and I thank you for watching.